Now, Spain has agreed to take in a boat with 629 migrants on board. This after Italy's new Interior Minister, Matteo Salvini, refused to let the rescue ship dock, and Malta rejected a request to take the Aquarius. Spain's announcement came soon after medical workers on the boat said that there was only enough food to last until the end of this Monday. Let's go now to Brussels and speak to our correspondent, Pierre Benazet. So, Pierre, what's the reaction where you are to this stranding of migrants?
Well, there was first a reaction by the European Commission asking both Malta and Italy to take responsibility and to at least open one of their ports, one of their harbour, to let the Aquarius dock there and disembark the 629 migrants that are on board. That was the first reaction today from Brussels before the announcement from the Spanish government. Obviously, the Spanish government has decided to take these migrants in part to, further the good name of the new government and prove its good intentions in Europe. But still, it's also a move that remains the shadow of a diplomatic crisis that was, that was at its initial stages here in Europe, because we know we are in the middle of new negotiations for the management of migrants and for a reform of the asylum rights in Europe, which has been asked for by the EU countries which have a Mediterranean Sea access for the past 10 years or more. But this reform is still nowhere, because obviously there are different camps within the European Union. First, the Mediterranean countries, which ask for the renewal, a new Dublin rule, the Dublin rule being the one that obliges a government to take care of a refugee wherever, when it enters into Europe via its territory. They want to remove that. France, Germany and the European Commission still want to have this rule. And obviously countries in Eastern Europe do not want to share the burden, so to speak, well, that's the way they put it, of the management of migrants and asylum.
So some changes in the works, but as the rules stand, under current rules, whose responsibility was it to take in these migrants? Well,
that was the second reaction from the European Commission, saying that obviously the rules are unclear. We know that the operation is headed by Rome. That's where the crisis center for the Mediterranean is, the crisis center, so to speak. So the Rome is supposed to be heading the operations, so that country, according to international law and maritime law, is supposed to be deciding where the boat is headed. But there is no obligation whatsoever to taking the boat and to open its own harbours. The head of operation only has to decide which harbour, which port is safe and which is not, and that's the only responsibility there is. So nobody really knows, and that's what the European Commission said openly, nobody really knows what maritime law would oblige any country to do, be it Malta or be it Italy today.
All right, thank you very much indeed, Pierre, for that update from Brussels. Pierre Benazet reporting.